Here we are, we're live.
And we're live. It's always hard to tell if we're live or not. So it's Friday Night Live, and it's Friday morning for us here in Hawaii, but we wanted to be able to catch everybody else as much as we could on the other parts of the world on their Friday nights. So welcome. And today we're going to talk about self-confidence.
We were going to film under this enormous banyan tree in the garden, but it's just kind of starting to rain, so maybe next week. So shall I go for it?
Yeah. Go
okay. So self-confidence. Well, the dictionary definition of self-confidence is trust in someone or something, or to be secure in yourself or your abilities. So when you feel secure, you're self-confident. When you're not secure, you're not so self-confident. And I don't know if you're like me, but if we're not feeling secure in ourselves, it can lead to all kinds of behaviours: attention seeking, approval, wanting to do stuff to feel good, wanting people to think of you in a certain way or not think of you in a certain way. It involves all this kind of controlling, manipulating in the outside world for you to feel okay. But what we're going to share with you is a very different paradigm on self-confidence, and it's a paradigm meaning the way in which something works. Self-confidence doesn't work the way you think it works. I'll give you an example. When we think of ourselves, have you noticed how transient our thoughts can be of ourselves? One day we can think we're brilliant, we're fantastic, we're talented. Another day we can think we're really useless. Sometimes we can think of ourselves and we can think, oh yeah, I look pretty good, I'm pretty fit, yeah, people like me. And another day, well, even a minute, an hour later, we can think the complete reverse. I know do you do that? I think everyone does that all the time.
All the time.
And the thing about what we think is whatever we think, meaning we think we're great or not great, it feels real.
Right.
So we're not really living in the experience of anything that we do or who we are. It's got nothing to do with it. We're living in the experience of how we think about ourselves in this moment. Another word for think about ourselves is our perception of ourselves, or our construction of ourselves.
Living in the feeling of our thinking.
Yeah. And so what we're going to propose is that when we rethink what ourselves mean, there can be more of a stable confidence. Now, what I mean by that is this sense of ourselves are so transient, and there seems to be a causal link between how well you're doing, how much money you have, where you live, what people think of you, what you've achieved or not achieved, to how you feel about yourself. Now, this supposedly causal link is the reason we get in so much trouble, because fundamentally our self-confidence comes from having to do, become, achieve and be. Now, if we're not doing that, any of those very well, we can get low self-esteem, we can get low confidence. So, I messed up on my homework, I didn't get a good grade, I'd messed up with my work, I didn't lift as much as a guy in the gym. Like, we can start judging ourselves because we're not being, doing, achieving, becoming. But what happens if we cut the causal link between out there and in here? Did you want to talk a bit about the in here bit?
Well, the in here bit is our natural default. We're naturally confident. We were born confident. But it's our thinking that if it's like a snow globe. When you mess with it and kind of shake it around a bit, it's the snow globe is like your mind, and the little flakes of snow are like thoughts. And when you shake it around a little bit, it gets blurry. It's hard to see. And when you just sort of sit that on a table and let it sit, those thoughts settle. And we feel better. We naturally feel better. Yeah. Just like children, when they start out in their toddler age, they are full of confidence. They can conquer the world. But when we get older and our capabilities seem to be we're more able to read, we're more able to write, we're more able to ride a bike, our confidence level goes down because we attach ourselves to these thoughts that float by, and we hop on the train with them and ride along with them, and we believe that. But ultimately, we have this beautiful innate intelligence inside of us. And I like to say it's deep down inside, untouched by thought. It's always there, and it never leaves us. That's about the inside.
Yeah, because if you were building a house, it wouldn't make sense to build it on quicksand. But we do, in a sense. We build our confidence on achievement, on getting approval, on doing this and doing that and looking this way and not looking that way, and how much we have and what we do. And it's like building a house on quicksand. It's all based on stuff out there in the world that's transient. And I don't know about you, but I can't get everybody to like me.
I like you.
Oh, thank you. That's one person. I don't know about you, but I can't always achieve what I want to achieve. I can't always have the physical things I want to have. And even if you did all of that, look at celebrities. They've got all that stuff and they're no happier than the rest of us. So there's this misunderstanding of where self-confidence comes from. Now, true solid self-confidence is connecting and remembering who we are, this well-being, this resilience, this love, this awareness, this consciousness within us, our spiritual nature, if you will. And I think as we get confidence in our spiritual nature, confidence in this natural power we have within, we can be confident within ourselves, no matter what the thinking of the self is doing. It's a different direction. I'll give an example. I used to run a business, 6-figure income, had a new car, speaking all over the world. And then things happened in my life and it all came crashing down. And I kind of got a bit depressed. And I was curious about this. And I kind of contemplated what was going on with me. And then it occurred to me that I was in the misunderstanding we're talking about. My self-worth came from helping people. If I didn't help people, I didn't feel worthy. My self-worth came from having a decent car and living in a nice area and having so much money in my bank account. And when I didn't have that, I felt unsuccessful. I felt useless. I based my confidence on something outside of myself, and true confidence is within. It's an essence, it's a resonance, it's a beforeness to what happens out there. And all of a sudden, that's a wonderful thing about depression. It can remind you, it's an indicator that something's off track, and it's trying to pull you back to truth again. So as I slowly, and I say slowly, it didn't happen overnight, reorientated myself towards a true sense of confidence, the depression started to lift, because it was just trying to remind me of what was true.
Right. So what you're saying, when you have that feeling, those feelings of negativity towards yourself, it's an indicator that it isn't true. It's an indicator that you're pulled away from that innate intelligence inside, that beautiful essence that we're all connected to inside. And so sometimes being depressed is our friend. It's our internal guidance system.
Yeah. And it's wonderful to know, that you're worthy. Whether you've got a big house or not got a big house, you're worthy, whether you're a success in your job or not a success. And again, I say success with these because everyone's idea of success is very different, and culturally too. What would happen right now if you let go of all the concepts about what success meant and fell back in love, not with somebody, but the fact of love, non-dependent and conditional? one other story. I remember co-creating a site many years ago, 2 years voluntary work, no pay, went bankrupt, and I felt so unsuccessful. But then a thought occurred to me, and the thought was, you're willing to bankrupt yourself for the purpose of, or the benefit of other people you've never met before, because it was a website. And then it occurred to me, oh, confidence is being of service to other people, and I felt this big buzz. And then it was like, no, Rudi, you're not listening. Confidence and success is whatever you think it is. Because whatever you think feels true. So when we collapse our view on success and confidence and go back home within to a confidence non-dependent on the outside world or things or stuff or doing, there's freedom. There's freedom within depression. There's freedom within not having what you want. There's freedom within not achieving what you want, because we're spiritual beings and we're free apart from the thought that we're not.
That's beautiful.
Anything else to say on that?
That's absolutely beautiful. No, you've captured it. It's just, I just want to, because I'm brand new to the principles, and my people, a lot of my people out there have never heard of the principles. But what I understand is, and it's so true, we're living in the feeling of our thinking. And sometimes that can be such a lonely, lonely place. But it's just like I said, when the snow globe gets very chaotic and busy, it's really hard to see. So you're always connected to that essence, to that beautiful, beautiful innate intelligence that we all possess. Always. It never leaves you. Sometimes it's just a little hard to see, but it's always there.
When you start to feel love and non-judgment, it's taking you back in the direction of what's true. And when you have the reverse, it's an indicator that it's not what's true, it's what the mind is creating. Go beyond what the mind is creating to the heart. I mean, they're all metaphors, heart and mind, as you know, but as we go towards the heart, it gives us a truer sense of what's true, and we realise we've always been worthy, we've always been whole. We don't need to do anything for that to be true. We don't need to achieve anything for that to be true. And yes, we can achieve and we can do, and we can have wonderful physical things too, and feel confident. And we can not have any of that and feel confidence. Confidence has nothing to do with the outside world. It's an inside resonance, and the inside resonance is love.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I want to say thank you to Mel and Paul and Ivalo and Steve and Kim and Lori and Francesca. I'm saying that wrong. You know I love you.
We've got a candle like propping up the phone, so we can't quite see the display very well. I think you did very well, actually. I wouldn't have seen that.
And then Mel said they're all illusions. They're all illusionary concepts. That's so true. They're just concepts. Well,
anyway, that's it for now. We'll see you on next week's Friday Night Live. And we've got loads of these videos if you're interested on innateevolution.com.
Yeah, thank you. Love you.
Bye for now.
Bye.